Hey guys, welcome back to Concept Pending, the Heroes and Villains podcast. We've all returned from our San Diego adventure and wanted to kind of share that experience with you today. So we got Taryn and Jonathan both here. If you were at San Diego, you saw these guys at the booth. So yeah, we just kind of wanted to recap that, talk about our experiences and all the cool stuff that went down there. Anybody want to jump in and share anything?
I don't know. I think I'm still recovering slightly. It's only been a week.
Yeah, only a week, and I still have a lingering cough. So that's feeling great.
I'm 100% too old for this shit.
You're too old for this shit as well, to be honest.
I literally slept for 12 hours the first day. The first day we got back, I slept for 12 hours. And then got up that day and immediately went to the couch and slept for like 3 hours. And then that night slept for another 10 hours. I was like, how is this happening? I even did like a COVID test because I thought like I'm ill. Got zero energy. Something's wrong. But I did not have COVID. So
that's a win.
Thank God.
Yeah.
I definitely don't. And I'm in a room with that complaining about
I also took a COVID test and it was negative. But I was scared because I woke up one night after getting home that I had 102-degree fever. So I was like, well, this is the end. I'm never going to another Comic-Con ever again. But it's fine. It's worth it. Right?
Yeah, I was just Texas welcoming you back.
Exactly.
Yeah, not to mention it was like 110 when we got back.
Yeah, it was not fun going from California weather to then being slapped in the face with 100-degree heat.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think most of that's just general exhaustion. Like I was concerned because they're like, oh, it's pre-COVID San Diego again. I'm like, great. And right before that was reading all the like outbreaks of like the new variant and all this. But I think everybody on the team was okay.
Yeah, I think everybody was good, which is excellent. But I think it's just like one of the realities of the con life, right? Like, I know my friends and family are like, we're so jealous you're going to San Diego Comic-Con. And I know it kind of sounds bratty and maybe jaded to be like, it's just Comic-Con. But yeah, but it's one of those things I was telling everybody in my life. Like, I mean, it's a great time. Like, I obviously enjoyed, going to San Diego, meeting so many fans and, meeting a lot of cool people and like hanging out with our, our con friends. But at the same time, it's just like, exhausting. Yeah. And I tell people all the time, like, yeah, Comic-Con is fun, but I'm just so tired.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and it's reinvigorating though after like you get over that, like to when you look back at all the experiences, all the connections, everything that went down, it's like inspiring to do more.
Great.
That's always that's the best part. I mean, I'll sacrifice, the 24 hours of sleep or whatever I had to endure like following and being completely wiped out just to have that experience and make those connections, but it is an absolute beatdown. And I don't think like as a con goer you probably don't experience that as intensely as what we do as participants in the con. I know, like, Jonathan and I were there, Monday?
Yeah, we flew in Monday and started setup. We didn't fly out again until Monday, so we were there for the whole 7 days.
Yeah, solid week. And everything was pretty flawless. I mean, we've had nightmare experiences,
Yeah, I think, like, the show was super flawless on the back end, and the booth came together pretty seamlessly. So we were kind of stressing about all the added components beforehand, but I think it ended up looking even better than we expected it to.
Well, yeah, I mean, because we were going into an unknown, we had the idea, but it wasn't.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's always the issue, though, is like we always have a ton of ideas, but without seeing them in person, we kind of just panic amongst ourselves.
Quietly.
Because we don't really know if it's going to come out at all how we think it is.
Right.
So.
But, okay, so big props to the Dad Batch crew. Came out on setup day. I guess was it Tuesday?
Yeah.
They showed up.
Tuesday and Wednesday.
Yeah. with all their gear and, decked out the booth. It was amazing. Learned a bunch of stuff from those dudes just in terms of like painting and distressing and texturing and all that stuff, which is awesome. And then after, like, once they showed up and I saw what they were doing, I was like, oh, we're good.
Yeah.
We're set.
For sure. Shout out to the homies for making our booth look better than everybody else in the Lucas Pavilion by far.
1,000%.
I think last year we started to kind of like add some more of that experiential stuff to it. So this year we were like hella inspired to do the same, and bringing the dads in was like obvious choice. Luckily they had time for us and it was so good.
Yeah, it was
We were
good.
drawing crowds all weekend just from people stopping to look at everything.
Yeah.
And like even some of our own merch items ended up looking like displays because their stuff and our stuff look so in world together.
Yes. Fantastic. And that's I don't know if we've already called this out, but that's our custom Rebel helmet that they hooked us up with.
There's an Empire logo on it.
Well,
so.
let me explain something.
I was like, I just see the one. Oh, there you go.
Depending upon which side you choose, there's a hero and a villain
Oh,
helmet. So
it's all coming together.
intentional.
Like-
I had a cute reveal moment of the helmet where they made Doug like leave, and I was like out running errands, and then like I come back and the guys are like, oh yeah, we sent Doug off, we have a surprise for you guys, and me and Doug had like no idea what it was going to be, so it was like super sick to actually open it, but we were definitely like a little bit shook because they had like all their cameras on us, and neither one of us are like camera people, to be honest.
Yeah, it was a little awkward, but very sweet and super appreciated. Like, but yeah, they're like, all right, Doug, you got to get out of here, go away. I'm like, okay. So I just like start wandering around, and then I get a text, okay, Doug, come back. I'm like, okay, here we go. Let's go find out what it is. But that was awesome. And then I was lucky enough to be on their podcast. Like, I think it was their 100th. Yeah. Family reunion, which they do live at the show in a panel. That was awesome. That was great. Met some really cool folks there. Their community is amazing. They're like a super tight knit family there. So that was awesome. Meeting all those guys, we had met them before, but not like on that level, and not with everybody there and us kind
Well,
of.
and I also see all of them a lot more than you do because you're not at as many events as I am. So like I've kind of seen all of them. But even then, for all of us to be together at one time was like super rare, but it was amazing.
It was awesome.
I think one of the things about their podcasts and really just like the cons as a whole is like I always am surprised and shook and inspired really by like the people who come up and talk to them about the inspiration that they give them or like what the community means to them, which I think is like similar to what we get on our end as well.
Yeah.
Which is one of the best parts of the cons, getting to kind of get people's actual real feelings about stuff IRL.
For real. And I think like that, I got that vibe from them as well. Like just watching them texturize and paint and all this stuff. And then they would like walk me through the process and tell me like how we're doing this, what types of paint it is, like all these things, how they textured that thing. And I'm like, that's so cool. And I'm like, I want to do it. And they're like, you can do it. Just do it. All you got to do is do it. He's like, they're like, if you fuck it up, it's okay. You can fix it.
Stress it.
Yeah. It's not, all you got to do is just do it. And so, yeah, that was super inspiring. And yeah, we have plans of doing some stuff there, I think.
Yeah, we have exciting plans with them coming for some future events.
Yeah. So great partnership there. Met a lot of other great people on the floor. Shout out to all the customers that come by and see us every year, because we love seeing you guys. We love chatting with you guys and hanging out. So that was great. Outside of the convention, I mean, did we have any experiences we wanted to share?
Well, I had some serious serious, I don't know if FOMO is the right word, but we missed this incredible drone show.
No
Can we
kidding.
talk about like how like we were
A massive drone show.
massive drone show? It broke a Guinness World Record for the number of drones used to make.
What were they doing?
It was for Deadpool and Wolverine.
They also did a Fantastic Four thing too.
Yeah, they had like the Fantastic car like
Yeah.
come out and do a thing. Here's the reality of working in licensed merchandise, right? We get to talk with people at Lucasfilm, we get to talk with people at Marvel, but nobody knew that this drone show was happening, at least none of the people that we're in contact with. And so that was really upsetting to find out
Same.
days later.
Drone show.
Dude, I woke up
Yeah,
the
seriously.
next morning and I looked on Instagram and it was like all over. I was like,
I don't think I found out about it until
like,
that
what the
Monday, the Monday after the convention. I was like, oh shit, there was a drone show?
oh, massive too. It was crazy looking. The dads were there. They showed us an image. They were like to the side, like at an angle, and it was like a side profile 3D of Deadpool's head. Like, I guess it was flat here, like just that, because they were looking at it from the angle. And then I guess there was another one that was just kind of flat that they saw, but I had no idea. And I was pissed kind of because you could have seen that from a mile away.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could have just
Like,
walked.
We could have just walked outside and been like, oh,
Like,
cool.
holy shit.
I
But-
think it's
We had no
interesting
idea.
and stressful to think about that many drones in unison at one time. Like, what happens if one of the propellers like nicks the other one and it just throws the whole thing?
It's just thousands of people outside watching it, like, oh shit.
Flight
Kids
everywhere.
is there and they're just like, yeah, sure.
But yeah, so that was definitely a big miss. I'm really sad we missed that. That's another thing. My friends and family, they're like, oh, you go to San Diego Comic-Con. Did you see any celebrities? Did you see any cool
Yeah.
panels? I'm like, no, I was.
Did you meet Ryan Reynolds?
Yeah, right. Like
That's
I
the
heard.
one everyone was asking me. Like,
I heard
did you meet
Keanu
Ryan
Reeves was just walking around.
Keanu was there? Are you
Yeah.
kidding me?
Yeah, and he was just walking around. It's like he's a normal guy, and I was like, "You're what?" He was just here, and
I'm
yeah, I
upset
mean,
by that one. I don't even really care about the drones now.
I will tell my one story, my brush with celebrity. I, as much fun as it is to just like hang out at the booth and like meet people, had a little bit of actual work to do. If you guys have listened to some of the other episodes I've been on the podcast, I work in brand management. So occasionally have to meet with clients and kind of get the lowdown on what's going on just in the world of licensed merchandise, right? So one of the things I had to do was at one of the offsite activations. So Hulu had this big thing called Anime Mayhem that I was privileged enough to be able to walk through and kind of get some ideas for what the fans are really gravitating towards, yada, yada, yada. But so when I was walking back to the convention center, I walked past the IMDb boat. Are you guys familiar with the IMDb boat? So apparently, when they get these celebrities onto the boat for their interviews, they just have these two ropes that they pull up and it completely stops traffic so that you can get your celebrity onto the boat safely. So I get caught by these ropes. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? Why can I know? Like, why is there now a huge group of people? And some guy is like, oh, well, this is what they do when celebrities are going to walk by, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, this is very exciting. Hopefully I get to see Ryan Reynolds or somebody cool.
I'm gonna meet Ryan Reynolds right now.
Right now. And then just the vibe of people, it's crazy how people change when there's the even whisper of a celebrity.
Right.
So of course everybody has their cell phones out, they're ready to record. And so I do the same thing because I'm a sheep. And so I like take out my phone. I'm like, how is it gonna be? I want this documented. Not to say it wasn't cool, but it was Kevin Hart that walked by. I mean, I'm not like a super like huge fan of him. I just don't know his work that much, but it was just, that was my one thing. Like I got to see Kevin Hart kind of with my own two eyes. It was with a sea of people, but that was my one.
There was
We
like
saw
a bunch of those little interactions happening though outside of like hotels and stuff where it was just like someone had to have been staying there. No idea who it was, but there was just like these little mobs of people with all their
It
phones
was maybe
out.
Keanu Reeves. Who knows?
But I think everyone that I walked past, I was like, is Ryan Reynolds in there? Like, every time I just
He was there. Hugh Jackman was there somewhere. We just
Yeah,
didn't get the pleasure.
they were there for sure. Yeah, I remember you coming back to the booth and being like,
Yeah, it's just
Kevin Hart.
so Kevin Hart.
He's like,
Duck's like, okay.
Yeah. Well, his first question was like, "How short is theirs?" Something like
Were
that.
you taller than him, or like?
That's
And I was wearing boots that day, and I did feel taller than him. Just have to say.
She was blown away by how
I was,
incredibly small the man is. Big ups to Kevin Hart. He's good.
Yeah.
yeah. That's
Yeah, there was a fire.
Oh yeah.
Remember? We walked out. Everybody was just like kind of milling around, like, what are we gonna do for dinner, or whatever. And then looked over Jonathan's head, and there's this massive plume of smoke.
Thankfully, it wasn't a
Obviously,
drone.
When they saw me and the smoke, I was in the middle of taking a photo, if you know me at all.
So yeah, and then everybody freaked out because Jonathan pointed out that seemed to be somewhat close to the Airbnb that the rest of the crew was staying in, which
Yeah. So then it became
incited
like
a little bit of panic. And,
It became a panic of trying to get to the Airbnb, but then like I'm pretty sure I made everyone stop so I could like get a snack, like, or soju or something. There was some I think I got bottles of soju.
it was like you and somebody else, maybe Nick or something, that like all of a sudden disappeared, and we were like way down the road, and we're like, what the shit? Was that when like 4 trains went by at the same time?
Oh,
You guys were on the other side. That was crazy. I didn't realize 4 trains could go by that place at the same time either until this trip. Like all those railroad tracks. Like,
If you've never been to San Diego Comic-Con, the convention center is kind of blockaded by a large row of railroad tracks. So sometimes when you're in a rush to get to the convention center, you can't get in or across the street because there's thousands of people and 4 speeding trains.
yeah, there's trains going through there. Anyway, Jonathan and I rock Razor scooters at the conventions. Best form of
It's the
transportation.
best decision we've ever made in regards to the conventions.
Ever.
Like actually ever was switching to Razor scooters.
I agree.
Which was accidental need, but it turned out to be great.
We because in years past we did the like electric scooter, what were they called, like Leaf or something, or whatever.
Lime scooters.
Lime, yeah, and those, they were cool. You could travel long distances on them effortlessly, but once the show started, they put like a geofence type thing around it to where you could only get within like 2 blocks, and then all of a sudden your scooter would just like bog down. You couldn't go anywhere, and then you have to find a place to park it, like a designated. It sucked. But the Razor scooters are the bomb. So we Razor scootered on over, and it wasn't the Airbnb.
Bringing it back to the fire. Yeah.
Everything was fine.
Nobody's Airbnb was on. Well, I mean, some people's Airbnb was maybe on fire, but
It was some sort of activation or something. Like, remember?
it was.
Penguin.
Yeah, somebody told us it was something that they had for the Penguin show.
Yeah.
I think it's a show.
Yeah, it was like an activation for creators, and then like I was talking to some homies, and they were like, yeah, like as soon as we walked in to get our drinks, that they were just rushed everyone out because there was a fire.
It's crazy.
Wild.
Yeah. They had that place blocked off like the rest of the night. Anyway. Yeah, what else? Could we?
I mean, I think the show was pretty chill for like extra stuff we did on the side. Saturday was crazy for us. We just had like a lot of meetings, and then the Moshe Isley event.
Oh yeah, Masha Isley.
And then, which was fun as always. Pleasure being there. And then afterwards, we were like still going and decided to go to like this little bar that I always go to in San
Star
Diego, which is like super cute dive bar called Star Bar.
Love it.
Yeah.
Shoot pool.
It's always like perfect vibes in there. So we go there, and I'm not that much of a drinker, but I'm like 3 drinks in at that point. And I'm like, going up to order my fourth one, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm just sitting here waiting for my Tito's, and I look over to the side of me, and there's this guy standing there, and I was like, is that Dan Harmon? And I was like, no, like there's no way that's Dan Harmon, like can't be. And I'd like double take, and I was like, no, that's Dan Harmon right now. Who I have been a huge fan of my whole life, and I don't typically have like fangirl moments, but like I grew up watching Community and like still watch it constantly. It's like an absolute legend. But I went up there afterwards and was like trying to talk to him, and I was just like so nervous. I was like, hey, you're Dan Harmon, right? And he's like, yep. Yeah. And I was like, oh yeah, I just wanted to let you know, I really love all your work. It's really inspired me, like blah blah blah. And he's like, but you didn't know that I was Dan Harmon? And so at that point I walk away, and I'm like, oh fuck, I botched this experience. So like we could have been best friends, So then I had to like go back and get you guys to be like, hey, like I need you to come over there with me so I can take a picture with him, or I'm literally gonna forget myself. That was definitely my funnest non-con experience.
That was cool.
Embarrassing moment of my life.
I got some photos with him. And then Rick and Morty were sitting there too.
Oh yeah, man. We met the voice actors for Rick and Morty. We just like turned around and we're like, oh
yeah. They're sitting at the table like right behind Dan. I'm like, and we talked to them for a while. That was a trip. So that was cool. That was a celebrity like whatever moment in the bar. We also met some random like dude. Remember that dude that was sitting with us? Talking about being in a hurricane and stuff, and
I left when y'all were talking to that guy, and I kept like giving everybody the eye, like
get away from this guy. Yeah,
like everyone just kept everyone tearing.
Yeah. Well, let's just talk
kept
about
the conversation going.
I don't believe this in, but let's just talk about how I was abandoned is what really happened. So
that guy pointed at you and was like,
homeless.
Doing this, and you're just looking at me like,
oh, I can't leave the conversation.
Yeah, well, because that would be rude.
Right. You don't know this person, Darren.
So we also have, like I mentioned briefly, like con friends. Like we have like friends that like we gravitate towards and we hang out with because we usually only see them at conventions. And so we have some great friends at Rock Club. Oh, CJ too. He's a great. We love CJ. But I was thinking the Rock Love girls, and so I was sitting there with Lulu, and she was really engaging with this man, and so I was just like, yeah, sure. And I can't just walk away. That's rude.
Yeah. From here on out, when I give you the point, like,
now I know the point.
This is your chance.
Get up.
Safety. This is for your own good. Follow us away from here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a trip. So we debuted. Everything we did at the show was a debut. Celebrating the 25th anniversary, my custom graphic exclusive top seller at the show.
Incredible.
Killer. Everybody loved it. So good job, AC.
As always, AC.
Always. So the show was a success, in my opinion. That it was different. I don't know if we want to get into that, but like, going into it, they're like, oh, it's pre-COVID San Diego. 160,000 was the estimate. I think it ended up at 130 something. You guys can, I don't know if y'all know, but I think that's what I remember.
115,000.
What's that?
It was like 115,000.
15?
Yeah.
Okay. So, and as everybody knows, like all of the things that were happening have not happened in the past several years. Like all the activations.
Marvel at Hall H.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Marvel back.
Mm-hmm.
There were so many different things that just made it a different show than what it's been since like 2019, probably. Mm-hmm. So it was interesting. It was great, well received. The booth looked amazing. We got through that with the Dad Batch. The product that we debuted was interesting because we did some different stuff than we've done in the past. We didn't showcase like a whole bunch of backpacks like we've done in the past. We showed up with some new silhouettes and bags. We showed up with some new silhouettes and outerwear. we've leaned hard into the bombers in the past, which everybody loves a bomber. I still love the bombers, but we have to, evolve, and we have to, look into newness. And so with this whole race theme, pulled through, the pod racer experience bled over into X-Wing and TIE Fighter. And I think it was legit. And I know that, those jackets, those like moto jackets are pretty specific, like in fit, right? But I think we did a good job of making it accessible to everyone, and being able to be there at the show and have the conversations with the consumer right there, and them be able to touch and feel and try on, was of tremendous value for us, to just know that we got the fit right, know that, the vibe is right with the consumer and the new products that we created. Another thing that was really awesome was the flags.
Yes.
I think the flags are awesome. I think that that's a whole new world for us.
I think the flags were another thing similar to what we were talking about at the beginning of, like, we think it's cool, but we don't know how it's actually going to get received.
Yeah.
So it was cool to see everybody go kind of crazy for the flags, especially since it was just the exclusive for the time being.
Right.
Kind of helped create that incentive.
Well, yeah. And it's like, you don't see that. You don't see these flags and banners like that.
Well, yeah, when you guys had the idea, I was like, surely there's a flag company that makes this. And then I started Googling, I was like, oh no, there's not.
Yeah, I think there's some out there, but the quality and the level of thought put into them is not, it's not there.
These ones feel very like in world almost.
Right. And they're well built. They're double-sided. They're screen printed. They're not sublimated printed. They're not like that cheesy nylon crap, They're quality. They're like home decor.
Yeah. What I loved was the amount of people that were like, as soon as you told them, like, just touch it.
Yeah, just feel it.
They were like, oh,
yeah,
like, this is really nice, like,
because it's not just a cheesy little, and if you're asking $40 for it, I mean,
yeah, it better be nice.
Yeah, it better be a nice quality. Yeah, 100%. So I'm stoked on those, and I have, everybody has more ideas on that, but
yeah, I think one of the most common requests throughout the show was, can you do a flag for this thing that I like?
Yeah. Yeah. You know what you should do? You should do one for whatever.
Like, I think Mando flag probably got the most, to be honest.
Well, that's a no-brainer.
Yeah, Mando was the most requested for sure.
Yeah, 100% got to do the Mando. Obviously, everything that we did is done with now because they were exclusives and they're all gone.
Missed out.
Yep. Sorry, guys. You blew it. But we'll come back around with some coolness there.
Yeah, I think we're going to have some cool online ones online that everyone will have access to.
And the awesome thing about it is it opens up like a new world for us. Like it unlocks like a home decor idea and concept. And there's not only one way to make a flag, right? Like we can revisit this with like cut and sew and embroidery and all these types of things that will make it even more of like a home decor type item. I mean, we've dabbled in that, like with the throw blankets and things like that, but the flags are really exciting.
Yeah, I think it's exciting to have a new category or something like that where you kind of can pull different inspiration that you may not have had in the past into those.
Yeah.
Or maybe they might not have applied into a garment the same way it does into a home good or an accessory like that.
100%.
Which I do think like is a big reason that this year was successful at the show itself, was because, like you said, the leather jackets and stuff like that are not everyone's cup of tea. But I think it's about offering people something new. Mm-hmm. And I mean, personally, I think everyone can wear the jackets. It's just a new thing. As you said, people are definitely more comfortable with like a bomber jacket,
right.
Even a Letterman, which has done really good for us. But I'm like stoked to see that the reception was good. And a lot of conversations I had with people were kind of like, I get that it's maybe a little bit different than what you're used to, but like you can wear it like this, you can wear it like this. And I think like over time, as we get more styling and more shoots and creators and stuff start to wear it, I think it'll kind of catch on a little bit better than it did.
It's a statement piece. It's
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
But it's like minimal enough to where it's not like a tacky statement.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
you can pretty much wear it with any bottom.
Right.
And you're going to look good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I loved the amount of people that as soon as they tried one of like the moto jackets on, they're like,
Yeah.
have to have this.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
Exactly.
75% cooler. Now.
Yeah, right. Like it's, yeah, exactly. It's like it's just seeing the people, you know, react that way about it was really exciting.
They feel good when you put them on. They fit well.
Same with the race jacket too. Like there were some people that like threw it on because I know I was like talking to one girl. She was like, I mean, I like the look of it. I just don't know if I would ever wear it. And she threw it on. I was like, literally with whatever you're wearing right now, it looks really cute.
Yeah.
Like she was just wearing like a solid color t-shirt and jeans. And I'm like, this is a outfit. Yeah, you need to buy this jacket and just wear it out. You look super cute. And so yeah, it's great, these events, because like we were saying, it might not be like somebody might look at this moto jacket and be like, well, I don't have anything like that. I don't know if I could pull it off. But then to go to the event, try it on and see, oh, hell yeah, I pull it off.
Yeah. And
So yeah,
that's the struggle we live with daily, being a direct to consumer online only, you know, because just like you're saying, like they may see that Most Espa piece and they're like, oh, I really like the way it looks. I just don't know if I would ever, but at the show they put it on and they're like, shit, this is easy to wear. I love this thing. You know what I mean? That's a difficult thing. That's why the shows are great. Especially when you have like folks coming in and they're buying it and then they're photographing themselves and posting. Like we need that. That way folks online that are debating it are like, well, shit, they look good in it. Like they did it. I can do it.
Yeah, like another one of my favorite moments was shout out to one of our other conference is Taryn. We share the same name. She showed up to the booth wearing the Ray dress.
Oh yeah,
right.
She looked amazing.
And she looked fantastic. She had the bag and everything. And in just the, I don't know, 10 minutes I was talking to her, 2 people came up and they were like, oh, I've seen this online. Can I touch your dress? You know?
Remember this
And 2 separate girls were like, well, I want to buy this dress now because, you know, I'd seen it online and I wasn't entirely sure, but you look amazing in it. I need it. And it's just, I love, you know, not only us and like what we have offered at the booth, but even just our fans who like know and love us, them just hanging out, you know, had some really great interactions with other fans. So the community, I love it.
That's awesome.
Agreed. I think next year we'll make sure we have some women's wear pieces added though, because I think that was one of our main takeaways.
Yeah, that was definitely a call out. I mean, it's very masculine set this year.
Leather skirt next year.
I love it.
Biker skirt. Part 2.
Oh my gosh, manifest biker skirts.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think though, all in all, it was a hit. I can't really complain about anything specifically, I don't think, other than being tired or whatever. But
Yeah, I mean, exhaustion's always the main takeaway from that
part of
show.
it.
But yeah, I think all things considered, it went incredibly smooth this time across the board, and reception was great. I mean, the biggest part for us is always getting to meet the fans, hang out with fans, and just like kind of get ideas from them, talk to them, catch up and stuff like that. So
always, we love it. I mean, don't feel like we are ignoring you or, you know, because it gets busy and I see like dudes I know hanging out, but I can't talk to them because things are happening. But we love you guys and we love seeing you there. So please come by and hang out as much as you can. And hit us up on social. Let us know you were there. Any of the shots you took or any of the product you picked up, let us know you were there and supporting us, and we appreciate that.
Yeah, we appreciate all the love.
All right, that wraps it up for another episode of Concept Pending, a Heroes and Villains podcast. Check us out at Concept Pending on social, at Heroes Villains Brand on Instagram for Heroes and Villains. And we want to see all of your San Diego hauls. So hit us up and let us know. Have a good one. Appreciate y'all.
Thanks.
Thanks.